No one saw this fight coming. Not even Charlo. This is a tune-up fight for Canelo. Canelo had that surgery on his hand. He's been getting a lot of backlash for not looking like prime Canelo or vintage Canelo ever since, the Belal fight. That's when the injury started. And then he got a lot of backlash when he fought John Ryder, just because, people were saying that he couldn't get the finish in his own hometown and how upsetting that was. And all these things. And I think right now he's back and he's strong and he's going to give it one more hard go before he calls it, an end to his career. That's really how I think this is going to go. And he's going to warm up or tune up with Charlo. He's 100%. He's been talking about how he's 100%. And I'm going to keep saying this. Canelo is one of the best boxers, if not the best boxer to ever exist. And maybe I'm biased. Yeah, I'm Mexican. Maybe I'm biased because I watch the sport now versus, in a different era versus 5 or 10 years ago. And maybe I am. But, for Canelo being the face of boxing, the best boxer in the world right now at this moment, and probably ever, I don't think Charlo's going to be able to handle that pressure. It's going to be Charlo versus Canelo. Charlo versus all those Mexican fans. Charlo versus the judges. Charlo versus everybody. And that's how all the Canelo fights go. And I don't think Charlo's going to be ready for that. And I think he's going to fold under pressure. And I think he's not going to be able to handle it. And he's going to fold. And he's going to choke. And he's going to get beat the fuck up. No disrespect to Charlo. He's a great fighter. But I think that's what's going to happen. And that's what happens every time you fight a superstar like Canelo. Welcome to the False Night Podcast here with episode 165. Yeah, we pumping the content, 2 episodes per week. I want to talk about the fight. I want to talk a little bit about UFC. And then I got some things to get off my chest, so stay for the end for that. So let's talk about this fight. We have Canelo versus Charlo. Personally, I was like everyone else probably. Didn't see this fight coming. Didn't think it was going to happen. I really thought that they were going to announce the Benavidez fight or the Belal rematch. I was like, it's going to be one of those two. I really don't see why Canelo would fight anyone else besides them, and Canelo, I don't want to say he doesn't duck, but I think he waits. I think he waits to fight somebody when he feels that he's at his best, like Benavidez. And I think after this fight, he'll fight Benavidez. I think that, he wants to gauge how good he is with that arm. And, after the surgery, he wants to feel it and he wants to get back in the ring and he wants to get in a rhythm. And I think once he figures that out, and if he does how he thinks he's going to do, I think he's going to fight Benavidez. But yeah, this fight, like when I found out, I was like, I don't even know who Charlo is. I know the twins. I know they're twin brothers. I don't know one from the other. Not too familiar. I know one got slapped by Caleb Plant. So, I'm not, no disrespect. I had to watch some fights or some highlights today and yesterday of Charlo just to figure out, his reputation, how he fights and who he is, things like that. So overall, starting off, first thoughts, I'm wearing a Mexican shirt. I'm Mexican, if you can't tell. Big Canelo fan, always been. And I'm very supportive of, any Mexican athlete. I know there's a lot of people that don't support their own, which is kind of crazy to me. But, yeah, we got something to brag about, and that's Canelo. So I'm not going to speak too much about him because we obviously know who he is and what he's done. But a little bit about Charlo. I was watching him fight, watching the All Access, things like that, some interviews here and there. Trying to get to know the guy. And, right off the gate, my first thoughts, he's very happy to have this fight. Very humbled about it, not really chirping too much because he talks a lot of shit. And I think that's good, and I think he appreciates the fight and then the payday that's going to come with it. I don't think I don't know, man. I feel like he's trying to convince himself that he's supposed to be in this position. But I don't think so. You're going up 2 weight classes. You haven't fought. I think 16 months. I don't think he's ready. To fight Canelo, 2 weight classes up, 16 months later, that's tough, man. And I don't know. You can't do that against the great, the best, the GOAT. You can't take that much time off. You can't just jump weight classes like that, you know. And this is like I said in the intro, this is a fight for Canelo. This is a tune-up fight for Canelo. This is a fight for him to get ready for who he is really going to fight. May it be the Belal rematch or the David Benavidez or the other Charlo brother. We don't know. But I think it's a warm-up, tune-up fight for Canelo post-surgery. You know, but anyways, back to Charlo. Like I said, humble, appreciated. But, I mean, he's good, you know, but I'm like, man, who has this guy beaten? And I'm looking, and maybe I'm not too familiar with boxing, you know, but the good things that I saw, I was like, okay, like, this guy's aggressive. He looks a little relentless. But the thing is that, you know, if he wants a chance, in my opinion, if he wants a chance with Canelo, he has to be relentless and keep that pressure that at least it looks like he has. And he has to be okay with getting hit by Canelo. You know, every fighter who has success with Canelo has not stepped off the gas. You know, who was his name? Like John Ryder just was all up in his face and he got beat the fuck up, but he was all up in his face. Gennady, same thing. Bivol, I mean, he was bigger, just took it to him. But I mean, you can learn from those fights, and I mean, as a fan or a casual, whatever you may call me, like, I see it. You know, pressuring Canelo and not letting Canelo study you. And basically, you know, you got to close the distance with Canelo, because then if you let Canelo control the fight, control the ring, it's a wrap. And the thing is that as the opponent, you might not even realize that it's happening during the fight. And that's when it becomes an issue, because that's what Canelo does so good, you know. And I'm pretty sure when he gets in the ring with you, you don't even know Canelo's taking over the fight, but he is. You know, he's always going to be a step ahead of you. He's going to be closing the distance once he wants. He's going to manage the distance however he wants. He's going to catch you however he wants. You know, he's going to beat up on your shoulder, touch up on your arm a little bit. Like, he's one. I mean, maybe I'm, like I said, maybe I'm just a meat rider. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. But I think Charlo just has to keep the pressure just be annoying. Make it an ugly fight if you have to, but don't get caught, you know. Don't get caught too much where, you know, you're going to put yourself out or you're going to put yourself in danger. Learn from Triple G, learn from Bivol, and then someone like John Ryder that, you know, stayed in the fight and made it a little bit of an interesting fight in Jalisco, you know, when he fought in Jalisco. So, you know, if Charlo can do those things, then he has a chance. But I personally don't think he stands no chance. So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Charlo. You know, seeing him in All Access and how he's talking, how he's speaking. I don't know, man. Like, like I said, I don't really know the guy. No disrespect, but it just looks like he thinks he's trying to convince himself that he's supposed to be in this position. It looks like he has yes men around him. I don't know why I feel that way, but it feels that way. Just how he carries himself. I'm like, man, like, he looks like a guy who thinks he's, you know, the shit or all this. And he has yes man, and it looks like, you know, I don't know, kind of like a spoiled brat, I guess. I don't know. I feel like I'm bad-mouthing the guy, but that's just the vibes I get. So, I don't know, man. I don't know how hard this guy trains. I don't know how hard he goes. But I mean, this is the biggest gap. I mean, Canelo has fought some guys that I don't fucking know, if I'm being honest. But, you know, maybe this guy has a little bit of popularity or stuff. But when I'm talking about skill-wise or skill set, this is the biggest gap, or one of the biggest gaps I've seen Canelo fight as far as skill set. No, we talk about the weight class. It's a big difference. 14 pounds, 2 weight classes up. That's pretty insane. You know, Canelo chose Charlo. He picked Charlo. Charlo didn't ask for this fight, blah, blah, blah. He got chosen. So when that usually happens, probably going to lose the fight. So, yeah, I don't want to keep talking like that about Charlo. But let's talk about Canelo. Canelo's one thing I want to say about Canelo. Canelo, he's been on the top since he was like 20-something, you know, early 20s. Really after the Mayweather fight, it's been the Canelo show. And to have that consistency, the domination, the performances, I mean, this injury itself, I mean, is one of those injuries that one of few that he's had in his whole career. And I believe he's 35 now. So, I mean, you're being a professional, I want to say at least close to, I mean, you're reaching almost 20 years of being a pro if he hasn't yet, but he's getting close. And to have the few injuries that he's had, to only have 2 losses in his career, and one of them at light heavyweight, and one of them against Mayweather, and not saying anything, but, you know, those are your 2 losses. And I mean, every challenge that has been thrown to him, or he's been criticized for not taking the challenge, he's taken the challenge and fucking literally said, like, boom, there it is. This is the challenge I had for me. Nothing, you know? And I mean, maybe you can say he lost to Triple G the first fight, which I think he personally did. But, I mean, he came back in the second fight and the third fight and beat him up. You know, and to me, Canelo loves to hear the critics. He loves to hear all this shit about him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, y'all are just giving more fuel to Canelo. And in this fight, all the critics are saying, you know, Canelo is not the same anymore, this and that. And I feel like Canelo's just going to go out there and explode on everybody. And then everyone's going to say he's ducking Benavidez, this and that. So Canelo's going to keep facing adversity. But his whole career has been that way. And he's constantly been proving those critics wrong. You know, and the other side, yeah, there's a lot of Canelo fans. We're all over the place. But that's just to the haters. So for people thinking that Canelo slowed down, I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think he's starting to slow down just yet. You know, I really do think it was his injury that was messing him up and has slowed him down. And we're going to find out this fight. This fight, we will find out if that injury was really fucking him up or he's really slowing down. And that's what I'm also excited to see on this fight. I want to see how he's going to do after surgery. If he's going to look better, if he's going to be not as good, if he's going to be scared, you know, that's what I want to see. And then we can really decide, damn, Canelo is slowing down. Because if Charlo does make it really, really competitive and make it a close fight, no disrespect to Charlo, but the argument, the thing's going to be Canelo is slowing down. It's not that Charlo's really that good. And again, no disrespect. I'm just being honest. So let's see here. Let's see. Oh, another thing I guess I can speak about that was a little weird to me. Also watching All Access, I think it's pretty cool to see Canelo, you know, being who he is, the star that he is, the money that he's make, and to take on, you know, this challenge. But, you know, throughout his camp, he's in altitude, and he is also just training with him and his trainers. No family, no kids. You know, and I'm like, bro, you've completed and accomplished so much in the sport, if not everything. You're already going to go down as one of the best, and you're going to be in the Hall of Fame. And yet you set these standards and at this time in your career, and I'm like, I don't know, you have to respect that. That shit goes unnoticed, because I can't imagine like not seeing your kids and not seeing your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. And just training, and just boxing. And I get it. He loves the sport, you know, but I'm pretty sure, you know, like you want to feel the love from your fam and the kids and everything. And I'm like, to challenge yourself and to mentally put yourself through that. I'm like, bro, this guy's a winner. This guy's a champ. And there it goes to show you how much Canelo wants to win this fight and how serious he's taking Charlo and the fight. And those are one of those things that I love about Canelo, you know, and he, like I said, he's all these critics or all these things that people say about him, but look what he does to be the best. Look, that we see. That's only the shit that we get to see. We don't really know what goes behind the scenes, you know, if we're speaking it how it is, you know, and that's from what we see. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like that's badass. And I'm only saying that because, you know, I think that I work hard. I think that I put, you know, a lot of time into what I do. I don't spend too much time sometimes with my girlfriend or with my fam, things like that. And I feel bad, you know, and that's just the little things that I do. And I'm like, dude, this guy is fighting at the highest level and he's doing shit like, you know, being miles away from his family, things like that. I'm like, you know, and a lot of boxers and a lot of fighters do that. And that's respect. But I'm like, when you're doing that at the top of the level and you've accomplished everything and you're still doing that, I mean, you know, Yeah. So, let's just talk about the fight, I guess. I really feel like the fight, if the way I think Canelo's going to come out, if he does come out that way, he's going to come out like he always does, not too aggressive at first, touch you up, and he'll start to pick it up around 4 and 5, and then around 8 and 9, that's when we'll see the prime and vintage Canelo, and he just starts putting it up on you. So, I personally think that Canelo's going to finish the fight in round 9, 8 or 9. I'm going to just say 8 or 9. But in between those 5 minutes is when he's going to get the best of Charlo. And he'll finish him, and he's going to put him out. And then he's going to call out fucking David Benavidez right after the fight, and everybody's going to be talking crazy. So hopefully that's what happened, but that's my final prediction for Saturday. I don't know too many of the fighters on the undercard, so I'm not going to speak too much about that. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the fight. Let me know what you guys think about Charlo taking this fight. And what are your thoughts? I want to know, is Canelo really slowing down? Is this a bad fight for Canelo? Should he have jumped into the Benavidez right away, or a harder challenge right away? Just thoughts. I want to hear thoughts. I don't want to hear a lot of, shit talking. I want to hear thoughts about the fight and how this fight's going to go. So let's talk about some UFC here. I was trying to search some things to talk about today because I didn't want to just talk about the fight. And there's 2 things that I want to talk about specifically in the UFC. One is the MMA community. A little bit about that. I want to talk about that in a second. But the first thing is Belal Muhammad. I want to talk about him. The only reason I want to talk about him is that I see his name a lot on Twitter. A lot. Or X. And I'm like, and it's, good things, bad things. It's a mix of things. And I'm just like, but the biggest thing is that, he's going to get his title shot. And then when the Kobe shit got announced, sadly, everybody was talking about how Belal thought he was going to get the title. And in my head, I don't know if people are trolling Belal Muhammad because he really thought he was going to get a title shot, or if people really thought that he was going to get a title shot. And I don't understand why he was even in the conversation, if I'm being honest. I'm not, again, when I talk about these guys, these are my opinions. I'm not trying to be hateful or shit talk, anything. But these are my takes. This is how I feel. And I'm just like, why do people think that he's like up there, like title shot? He's top 5, don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about title shot? Are you serious? Are we serious right now? And I'm like, I don't see it. He was losing the fight to Leon Edwards when that shit got done. And the only other name he's beaten is Stephen Thompson. And Stephen Thompson hasn't fought anybody good since who the fuck knows how long. And he's probably going to get fucking manhandled by Ramnavov. I can't say his name. Let me see it. By Shavkat Rakhmonov. I'm pretty sure I still pronounced that wrong. But he's going to get manhandled by him. And I'm like, why isn't Belal Muhammad fighting that guy? Why? And he's probably going to fight Usman. I think that's what's going to get announced. You have Usman. You could run it back with Gilbert because you didn't beat Gilbert like that. And the fact that Gilbert had one fucking shoulder, you can say one arm in total. You won it in a decision. You couldn't even put out Gilbert. And this guy had one shoulder. TJ Dillashaw lost. And then this fight this week in the Gamrot and Fiziev fight, Fiziev lost. Gilbert Burns blew out his whole shoulder, and Belal couldn't put him out. And you guys talk about Belal this and Belal that, but when Aljo put out TJ, people were like, "Oh, TJ was hurt." I'm talking about Gamrot, how he won the fight against Fiziev because he got hurt. I was like, that's not a real win, But Belal went to distance. Well, Gilbert, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm just like, he didn't really. He won the fight, but it's not impressive that he won the fight because Gilbert Burns is not. He wasn't healthy. He blew out his shoulder. A healthy Gilbert Burns, I think Belal loses that fight. I was so excited for that fight, and I'm upset that that's how it went. But yeah, the hype, I don't see it. I want to see it, but I don't. And I'm excited for to see the announcement who he fights next. I hope it's Usman. I don't hope. Who else? Everyone else has a fight. So I mean, it kind of has to be Usman. And I mean, if that fight happens, there goes. I mean, Usman wants his belt back. I mean, I don't think there's a doubt about that. So, and Belal wants to be the champion. Fight the former champ, then make a fucking statement. Because if you do beat Usman, I don't see why you don't fight the winner of Kobe and Leon. Now we talking. Now I'm like, okay, the hype is real. The hype is there. But besides that, I don't get it. I don't see it. So, but again, that's just my opinion. And if you guys think otherwise, let me know, please. I want to know. And don't just tell me I'm stupid or I don't know shit or I'm casual. Let me know. And with that being said, let me talk about this MMA community. You know, before, and I'm going to relax here, but before I started talking, about UFC like that, we only made predictions, and I say we because when I recorded with Zach, and now it's just me, and this is all I talk about. And before, we see some comments here and there that were shitty and blah, blah, but now that all this is all I talk about, and I know that the comments are going to be more, but I see, and it's not that this gets to me, what's very upsetting is just how much negativity it is on each post. And I'm like, bro, like, why do you guys, whether it's me, and I see it on other posts too, I was like, why does the MMA community shit on a person's take so much? I'm not entitled. I don't feel like I'm entitled. I don't feel like I know it all. I don't know shit of shit. I'm a fan and I love the fucking sport. And like, hey, I love to record. I love doing this. I like speaking into a microphone. I like hearing myself talk. I love editing. Let me put it on fucking YouTube. Let me make a podcast. I had a host before. I had another host after that. I had another host after that. And I had another host after that. Like, I've tried to do it different ways. Trust me. And this is how it ended up happening. This is how it is. And I'm more happy than ever that this is how it happened. And I love it so much. But I just don't understand why people shit so much on the other person's opinion. If I see the Belal this and that, I didn't go fucking tweet, Belal fucking sucks, you're a fucking idiot, delete your page. I mean, I might say I don't see it, Belal's not all that. I'm speaking about the conversation of Belal Muhammad now. But I see my post and other posts. First, I mean, mine on a daily basis, at least 3 people, it's delete your channel, delete your page. Bro, my DMs are fucking crazy, and these are just random people. And I'm like, bro, why are y'all so toxic? What the fuck is the deal here? If you guys are that butthurt, get yourself a camera and do the same thing that I'm doing. But like, I'm just like, and the only thing that I'm trying to get out of this is, like, I don't want other people to shit on the person that's speaking, whether it's me or someone like Chael Sonnen or I forgot who the other guy is, or just Twitter pages, whatever. But I'm like, bro, I go to someone's page or whatever and I look at the comments and I want to put a comment myself, and then like the first or the top comments are like, delete your channel, you don't know shit, you're a fucking idiot. And now I'm over here trying to write like a genuine post, and then that's there, and I'm like, at that point I don't even want to like get myself in the conversation just because how toxic those comments are, and then I'm just like, bro, like, we can have the MMA community or whatever, but like, don't make it so fucking toxic. And we can disagree and we can talk shit about fighters and this and that, but I don't ever see the whole point of calling me or anyone else an idiot or don't know what we're fucking talking about, because the reality is I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, I don't know shit. I've never trained in MMA. I've never had MMA fight. I've never boxed. I never had a boxing session. Nothing. I've hit the bags. I hit a bag. I've hit pads, but that's all I've done. I don't know jack of jack, bro. I watch a UFC every fucking day. Watch at least one fight a day. Hours. I watch hours of fights every week. It's insane. I love the sports of boxing and MMA. I watch UFC. I watch all these organizations that I don't speak about. I love soccer. I love watching that. I watch fucking football all the time. I'm just a huge sports fanatic. That like a hard. After this, I'm finna play FIFA. You know, if I'm not playing FIFA, I'm playing like UFC. If I'm not playing UFC, I'm playing like Rocket. Like that's me, you know. Like and I'm not. And again, I don't know shit. I'm just a guy who loves to record and talk about MMA and UFC. You know, I mean, I'm wearing a freaking Brandon Moreno shirt. Like I'm just a fan of the sport, and I love to turn on the mic. I love having these lights on, and I love speaking to it. Like I genuinely like love doing this, but it sucks because I feel bad for the people that do want to leave a genuine comment, or I want to have a genuine back and forth with somebody. I can't because it's just so negative and toxic in the comments, whether it's my post or someone else's, you know, and it's gotten to the point. I mean, I only reply to comments on the actual YouTube video if they're not shitty. And I want to reply to a lot of people, but it's just fucking draining when I read a comment that says, delete your channel, you ain't shit, and then it's just like, hey man, I really appreciate it, and I'm like, oh, like that's nice, but then I gotta go read 10 other shitty ones, and I'm just like, bro, like this is just too much. So I'm gonna just like heart, and then on Instagram, I don't even look at those or acknowledge those because I'm just like, bro, that's just too toxic. It's just too negative. It's just too shitty, you know. And that's what sucks. You know, that it's just so shitty and toxic. I want to go into the comment section, and I want to see a genuine conversation about why Belal Muhammad deserves a title shot, like a real genuine answer. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. It's crazy, but I mean, just like I said, just want to get off of my chest. And I mean, I'm gonna give you guys an example. I had a guy put a comment. He said something about my beard, and I was like, bro, what does that got to do with what I just said? I had someone else, like, I mean, even the pronunciation things, like, I don't get that, like, either. I'm like, bro, I mispronounced the name, my bad. But I'm be real with you guys, too. When I was in school, I had ESL. I'm dyslexic as fuck. I, like, struggled in reading. Like, I don't know how to speak, like perfect English. I speak 2 languages, and I get both of them mixed up. Like, that's how, whether you can call me slow or dumb, like, that's just how it is. And that's why I struggle with pronunciations. But, you know, at the end of it, if you're someone who wants to start something, don't let this shit get to you. You know, the comments or the negativity is always going to be there. People are always going to doubt you. Everything's going to be against you. You know, the only thing that you can, what is it called? The only thing you can do is keep going, make that shit happen, and just get it done. And fuck everyone else. The reason why I don't block people or do any of that is because I want them to keep seeing me, and then they're just going to see the blow up. And then they're going to feel some type of wave inside. And that's what's going to make me happy. And I'm not even going to know, but I know that I'm going to do it. And that's what makes me happy. That's what keeps me going. See you guys next week. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who's going to win the fight on Saturday and why. And let me know why Belal Muhammad deserves a title shot.